Alright, it can't get any more obvious or dumber than this. What you're seeing there is a screenshot from the video where the swarm of ICE agents are, all around this guy, Pretti, right? They did that and made it look so busy so people wouldn't look on the background. If you pay attention to that video, you will see right there where I've zoomed in, Nicolette. Just like I said, it's all going to be about Nicholas, Nicks, Nikolai's, anything Nick, Nicole. In fact, this one spells Nicole within it. And Nicholas, anything and everything, Nick, Knack, all of that. That's what this is all about. It's about the neck. That's why you had that picture of Trump on, I think it was Time magazine, where it's just showing his big filthy neck. Because to get everybody by the neck here, that's how the Epstein thing happened. That's why everything was Subway, something that happened to somebody's neck. All these events are about the neck. It's the most vulnerable part. They're letting you know they're going to attack the neck. And who is going to attack the neck? Go back and look at some of these satanic movies like Left Behind with Kirk, cameras on. Kirk Cameron. Kirk, the camera's on. Kirk, Charlie Kirk. Cameron Kirk Cameron. But anyway, this Nicholas, all this stuff, the more busy the events, the more they're hiding the most obvious things, okay? It's that cut and dry. It really is, okay? Even in the Kirk Cameron movies, the bad guy was Nikolai, okay? It all boils down to the neck. They are going to attack at the neck. This just happens to be in Minneapolis. Isn't that where the lady, the fake event just not long ago, she was shot, right? And now you got another one, and right underneath that just happens to spell the word Nicolette. And you can see the man's picture on the window. I suggest you go and look at the video, screenshot that, and find out who he is, okay? It's very telling where this is going to go, and going to go fairly quickly. And the more crazy these events get like this, it's not what they're doing that matters. Of course it was fake, all right? Obviously it was fake, 100%. It's what's in the background is the warning and the spell. The human mind picks up on all these details, and it gets put into their heads, and it's there, even though they don't even know they have seen it, okay? The human mind is programmable and brainwashable very easily this way. Since St. Nicholas, since Santa Claus, how many Nicks, Knacks, and Nicoles, and Nikolais, and Nicolettes, and Nicholas Streets? This was even on that street. That's why it's even more ridiculous, okay? They have to give you a lot of crazy events to keep you off the path to keep you from realizing that it's all about that. The nick. How did the fake Charlie Kirk thing? It was a nick in his neck, wasn't it? It's all about the neck, folks. Protect your necks. Where's your phone at? Right against your neck. There's more than that going on here, but that's a big part of it. And these events are going to get dumber and dumber, and you're going to continually see in the limelight, just like this. Nicolette just happens to be underneath this person's picture, the man in the window there. And there's other things on that window. It's from the new, I think it's his new American Development Center, okay? And of course it was just purchased or given the money by St. Mary's. Why? Because you have Merry Christmas. St. Nicholas again. It's all there. It's nothing more than brainwashing. Now, it's very telling what they're getting ready to do to humanity, though. I mean, it couldn't be any more obvious. It absolutely could not be any more obvious. It's going to be a multitude of things for and about the neck. But it's the most vulnerable part on our bodies. Absolutely is. I mean, it really can't get any more ridiculous than this. That's how I can tell you. Because of the level of warnings, I've watched this for many years. They've never made it this obvious, okay? Never. It means, the test is almost over. The New Testament, okay? This is a test down here. And the problem is, if you get well, let me put it like this. A failing grade is anything other than 100%. Why? Because it's so obvious that if people aren't catching on to this, they have failed anyway. It's that brutal here. That's obvious that this is a brutal place, but now it's going to become very brutal. And it is about the neck. It is about parasites too. It's about parasites, and you'll see, I'm going to load a video up here in a little bit. Someone who visits the channel here, Joanne, took a screenshot of the storm that moved through here. And it's the perfect picture of a parasite. I mean, the snow, the ice, everything, the mist, the fog, this event that was across the United States. The absolute perfect way to drop within this system parasitic eggs on us that would be so light and airborne that everyone here would have breathed them in instantly. And mumps, things like that. Just, it's going to be so many different directions, but it will be for the neck. That's why Epstein will never be off the table. They need the people to continually be thinking about how he went out. Even if they're not thinking about it, everyone knows he somehow hung himself in a cell where he was completely 24-hour a day monitored, okay? This is an IQ test. Like it or not, I don't like it, okay? Like it or not, this is an IQ test of sorts, for sure. Humanity has to snap out of it. They want us to focus in on the ice and doing these things and these random people, getting hurt. It's not that. It's what's in the background that you better be paying attention to. Don't worry about the ice. That's all fake anyway. I did the numbers on that initially for the alleged people that are in here illegally. And they're not here illegally, by the way. Most of them are here legally to help cover up the fact that they already hurt, harmed, and maimed so much of the working population with the you-know-what that they had to bring them in to wash their hands. It would take 275 years for them to remove who they say is here illegally. That's if they never reproduced. So that is not the goal here. It has nothing to do with immigration. It has to do with people thinking and making them think it's immigration. That is not on the table. Whatever is on the table is not what is going on. Keep that in mind, okay? You know how it is. You go to some stupid flea market somewhere and you see a sign that says whatever in the background, and you look on the table and you're like, well, that's not really what's here, Same thing going on here. Except for it's a mirroring effect. They're letting you know exactly what's going on in the background, on these signs, on these street signs, on the buildings, the owners. How many Nicholases, Nicks, Nicoles, Nicolais do we have to have pretty much every day to realize that it's about that, okay? If you can, leave a comment or question, because iron does sharpen iron. If you live in this area, or if you know who that picture is, that helps too. Put anything you can in here. Iron sharpens iron. But I'm going to tell you 100% right now, this is all about everything to do with the word Nicholas, Nikolai, Nick, neck, Nick. Anything, it boils down to the neck. And oddly enough, if you take the N and turn it over, it spells Zek, Z-E-C-K, which literally means a parasite tick or a worm parasite. Coincidence? No. Absolutely not a coincidence. Not at all. In any way, shape, or form. Look in the background. of these stupid events, and the more erratic they are, especially up against buildings, just for seconds here and there is what they're showing you. It's not like they're going to let you see that sign continually. You try to imagine the odds. Nicollet Street, and it spells Nicole within it, and then right underneath it a man is shot and killed allegedly. No, folks, there's no way. This is all about brainwashing the words of Nick, Nicholas, Nikolai, anything that even sounds similar to that. And when you boil it all down, it's to the neck, because that's the most vulnerable part of the human body.